brilliant labor mobility discussion that we had today, as well as a workshop on AI. And I'd like to welcome our colleague, Carmen Pedraza. A lot of you might already know her. She's been very instrumental to the forum for many years. So we're very, very glad to have her with us. She's done a lot of work to make this happen behind the scenes, but we're also really looking forward to hearing her closing reflections. So a warm welcome for Carmen. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. So back on the stage, not with questions right now, and only to steal the 5 last minutes of your time. As my manager mentioned, Sarah, my name is Carmen Pedraza. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I've been in IHRB for 4 years and 11 months. I was just having a quick look on my LinkedIn because it's been almost 5 years, meaning it's almost, no, this is my 4th Global Forum for Responsible Recruitment. So that's why I mean that some of you might have known me because I've been pestering some of you with PowerPoint presentations, and probably some of you are also a bit pestered by me because I probably dropped an email that you sent me, and for that, I'm sorry. I wanted to touch on the 4th Global Forum that I witnessed because I know that for some of you, this is not your first Global Forum. As I was in the lunch, I had the opportunity to ask one of you how many faces in the room does that person know or acknowledge. I wasn't surprised to know that some of the faces are friendly. Some are our former colleagues, and some of us have met weeks, months, or years before in different spaces discussing different but similar things. This year, we're looking into the complex topics of disruptions, global disruptions and responsible recruitment. We have touched on climate, AI and data, and geopolitical conflicts. This is not to add more complexity into the agenda that it's already complex, which is responsible recruitment. Because as I said, some of us already know each other and already know the difficulties when tackling this issue. But to touch on some of those complexities that we threw to you today, I'm quoting some of the speakers that we witnessed today, like Kanta Kumari, mentioning in her climate session that 260 million people will need to migrate by 2050. And that's, as a reminder, the combined population of Thailand, the Philippines, and Malaysia. Or as Hannah from DigiNext also mentioned, that there are risks within the tools and the initiatives we are using today, and the risks are to exacerbate the problems that we are trying to solve. Or like in the CGF panel, where there was a mention in which we are not reinventing the wheel. But Kanta Kamori also said that within those 260 million people that will probably migrate because of climate impact, there is a chance to reduce to 70 to 80% that number with the right adaptation and labor policies. Hannah from DigiNext also mentioned that those initiatives that we're working on might exacerbate the risks. They can do so if we don't harness them for the right way. And quoting again the CGS and marketplace session, I know that we're not reinventing the wheel. And I think we know we're not reinventing the wheel, but I think we all know that we're trying to move it forward. And I want to remind us all of that. I know that having the human rights issues within our hearts is sometimes frustrating, and sometimes it can feel that we are talking to an echo chamber, but you're still here, and the efforts are still here. And we do not need to reinvent the wheel, but the fact that you're here just moves that we are moving it forward. I know it's hard to capture social impact, but then again, your presence means that we're moving it forward. And to quote, last but not least, our CEO, Julia Batho, the reason for this forum is to discuss evidence. And another indicator from the fact that we're moving the wheel forward is that though evidence is still here because we're still meeting each other, the context is different. Whilst before we were talking about what the employer pays principle was, now we're talking about what are those hundreds of companies doing to implement it. And though before we were talking about what kind of principles can draw or can fall into a migrant's journey, now we're talking about how to match the different principles that we are trying to apply or to evolve. So I want you to recognize those efforts and want you to recognize how, though the evidence is still here, the context is different. And it is our responsibility to keep touching on those evidences, because though the evidence is still there, it's our responsibility to keep approaching it. And you know that. That's why you're here, as long as it exists. So one day I can keep working in a forum, but it's no longer the forum for responsible recruitment. And it's another forum on another human rights issue that we will have to tackle together. To touch a little bit on what Sarah, my manager, also mentioned, tomorrow we are changing things a little bit, and we're having a workshop, 2 specific workshops on some of the complexities that we touched today. And to finish today with a bang, so I can wake you up all a little bit, we're having another break right now. Outside there are going to be drinks that go beyond coffee and water. Yes, and then when I call you back into the room after that break, you can bring in your drink. That it's then again doesn't have to be coffee or water, because we're offering some canapes to enjoy together the evening reception that IOM and Amazon are hosting for us. So thank you to all the audience online. I'm sorry that you don't get to share your not coffee with us, but we'll be happy to see you all tomorrow. So thank you for being here.
And last thing, and then we can move ahead. I also wanted to give a big thank you to the technical teams inside Pact, Juan and her team for today, as well as all the staff that's been cleaning the room, serving us coffee and food. We're very grateful that the day has gone so flawlessly thanks to your support. So thank you.